What's going on, everyone? Rich Quinones here. Another edition of Q's Cuts on this Friday for the 4th of February, 2022. I want to talk a little bit today about what's going on with the Philadelphia 76ers and this whole, I guess you can say, debacle that is Ben Simmons. And if, in fact, the Sixers are going to move him within another week, the NBA trade deadline is fast approaching. But I will say this. You know, Ben Simmons, no doubt talented player. He's not a transcendent player. I remember guys were talking about him being better than Jason Tatum a couple years ago. I don't know where that crowd is. But the point is this. Ben Simmons has extremely thin skin. He cannot take the criticism. Look what transpired with Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal. The fact that he had a DM Shaq. You know what he needed to do? Just work on his game over the last couple summers. Just be engaged. Just be involved. But instead, he's turning in, or he has turned into a spoiled little kid, a little brat that decided, I'm going to take my basketball off the sandbox and go home. The problem is now the 76ers, they misplayed their hand. At the end of the day, they misplayed their hand. And now it's almost as though you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And the GM does not want to budge. That's why I think this is an absolute mess. I mean, look, at this point, if you can turn around and trade him, I'm not going to say pennies on the dollar, but you got to get something back in return, no doubt. We can talk a little more later on today from 4 to 6 on Back Your Play, who some of the other participants possibly would be with these trade rumors. I know people are talking about Thibault and Maxey, and then you mentioned Beal and all these other teams. But the sadness of this all, for the Sixers fans out there, is that with everything going on right now, they're still winning basketball games. They're playing well. They're having fun in spite of some of the Doc Rivers issues with coaching. They're wasting a big man's prime. They're wasting Joel Embiid's prime. He's having an MVP-like season, and it's going to be all for naught. Why? Because they can't figure out what they're going to do with Ben Simmons. And that's the sadness of it all. You don't get many years like this in the NBA when a player like Embiid is playing at such a high level. I mean, it's just unbelievable. He's got to get credited. You know, he's put in the time, he's put in the work, and it's showing with what he's doing on the floor. The question is, within a week away from the NBA trade deadline, what do the Sixers do with Ben Simmons, and how can they make this work? All right, so that's a Friday edition of Q's Cuts. Don't forget, you can follow me on social media at RichQonQ, Instagram at RichQonQ. Subscribe, like, comment on the YouTube channel. We'll talk to you at 4 o'clock today with BYP right here on AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio.